Hello, YouTube. This is Intuitive Retta. How are you guys doing today? I know it's early, first thing in the morning, and so I'm gonna do. I know people wanted me to do a reading on Jussie Smollett when it happened, and if you guys look back in my comments, I said before I didn't believe his story. And I'm going to do a reading on him now, but trying to understand his mindset of where he's coming from, why he did that. And the reason why I didn't believe it, first of all, my intuition was kicking. Oh, there's a blanket my grandchild threw. Sorry about that. Uh First you would have to understand these so-called MAGA supporters. Public opinion would have you thinking that MAGA supporters are old white men or young white men. And that's not necessarily true. That's how come the mass media keeps getting everything mixed up. How they keep falling behind on their predictions of whether Trump was going to win or not win and stuff like that is because they really don't understand the audience. And they don't understand that the Trump supporters aren't the ones that are watching so much TV. They're not the ones that are tuning into the news. You know, they find their news elsewhere. It's a certain box. So I knew from my intuition, one, and two, I kind of, what man is below 20 degrees outside in Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I wouldn't recommend walking the streets by yourself in the middle of the night. And for Subways, which is Subway subs, people thought he was talking about the Subway. No, he was talking about Subway subs. And I don't know that many Subway subs that stay open, that late. I think one of my subscribers did looked at restaurants around that area, and the latest one that closed was 12. So, again, my name is Intuitive Retta. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the comment below if you would like your own personal reading. Contact me at rettaware@gmail.com. Also, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under uh, under Intuitive Retta. So we're going to look into what was behind Jussie Smollett. Why did he do this? That's where I'm concerned. Whether or not I knew from the beginning, if you look under my comments from my first video, I said, this is a lie. I don't believe the story. I said it all over Instagram. I mean, people came at me hard on Instagram because I went on some of the blogs and stuff and was like, I don't believe it. And people went at me hard. But see, because society and the public opinion have you thinking that MAGA supporters are these white men and very violent and this and that, which is strange because most MAGA supporters I see come from varying different walks of life, I can't even say it, ethnics, different colors, that, and most MAGA supporters wouldn't be out at 2 o'clock in the morning with bleach in their hand. And that's not it. The news have you thinking that MAGA supporters are these racist people. And that's why they're going to continue to keep getting it wrong. They're going to continue with their narrative and it's just pissing people off. So why was there someone behind Jussie to put him through this? He is the Hierophant. I mean, not the Hierophant, the High Priestess. So that tells me he has a very intuitive energy. He's very intuitive. He's very sensitive. He's very emotional. But also is that justice and judgment in there. So that's telling me that public opinion and him in the public eye means a lot to him. So he would do things to be in the public opinion. People right now, I would be worried about him and how he's taking things, how people are coming after him because he's so sensitive. I would be very worried about him maybe, I don't want to say it, but him maybe, suicidal, something like that. And it's very sad. I haven't looked at the cards yet, but public opinion means a lot to him. And so I want to understand where his mindset came from. What was he thinking and so forth. So Jussie Smollett, why did he do this? Whoops. So how's everybody? Hello, Marilyn, Flor Diorio, Rita Brown, and hi, Victoria. I did so far give away the two readings. There's one more reading to go for the donation thing, so I'll do that afterwards. after I get the computer. So I'm looking for the desktop, a refurbished one, so I can get into my account. I have to get because I have to get I'm looking for a refurbished Mac, iMac, a desk one because I don't want no more laptops because I dropped the last one, and that was very that was very expensive for me to drop my computer like that. Um, so I've been looking for refurbished ones, and the one that I had my eye on, it already sold. So that's what I've been looking for. I'm almost there. You guys helped me donate. You guys, I think it was $578. So thank you again. And so that's here. So let's see, where is Jussie at with this whole thing? Um, he's heartbroken right now. He's heartbroken, but he did this to himself. So he is heartbroken. People are saying that he did this because the letter came. He didn't feel like he got the attention that he deserved for that letter. What is the cross to bear? Um, was he? It's either that he's been drinking a lot. I don't know if he has a drinking problem, or does he have a younger sister that's more successful? So he's heartbroken. But this is the page. So this was him. This was something that maybe he thought of, or came through when he was intoxicated or drinking, or it has to do with his sister that's more successful. I don't know. Underneath all that was he's not thinking right. Um, his plan didn't come together. Let's see behind him. Um, for the last year, I don't think he thought that he was getting his just goods. I don't think for the last year he thought he was getting his just goods. I think that he didn't feel like what he was putting in, what was he getting out of it. I don't think he thought that he was getting paid enough. I don't think he thought that he's seen enough visibility. I don't think that. I think he was very for the last year. He was very upset about the give and take in the relationship of what he was doing, his acting wise. Right now, everybody's coming against him. He's standing tall. Uh, he's having a hard time balancing. I'm thinking, I wonder if he's drinking a lot or drinking something. Um, let's see. Behind him, I think he's going to, there's a lot of competition. So this shows about him. Something's going on in his family too at the same time. There's a lot of competition within his family. I think his family isn't as what they show on TV, that not on TV, but what he portrays, that his family is very close and stuff. I think there's a lot of things going on in his family, and it's a very um, um, the little girl shows again. There's a little girl, a younger girl that is more successful, and it was a competition. It's like a competition within his family, and he just doesn't have that same passion. I guess he doesn't have that same passion that she does. Let me look at some other things. So a lot of this, I want to see if anybody put him up to it, because it looks like it was more about competition in regards to his family. Like he's in competition with a sibling, a younger woman. Um, that's what it looks like. What do you guys think? How are you looking at Jana Duggar when I'm sitting here doing a whole different reading? I don't understand that. I put the person who I'm doing a reading on is Jussie. And then you guys ask me questions about people that I'm not doing a reading on. I'm not an 8 ball. You don't just shake me and I just throw out answers. I'm focusing on one person at a time. So yeah, they might have supported him, but in the family dynamics, everything isn't as kumbaya as what they may appear to be. And there's a lot of competition between him and his younger sibling. Is she younger? Is his sister younger than him? She is a little bit more successful. Okay, let's see. Okay, what was his thoughts in regards to this plan? about this whole MAGA thing. What was his thoughts on that? He thought that this was going to his thing. It was to deceive. He got this. This was something that someone else gave to him. So he didn't come up with this by himself. Someone else gave him this idea. Someone else gave him this idea, and he was contemplating of what to do with it. And his whole thing was to, this is the Seven of Swords, was to betray. And this was something for a wish fulfilled, for something that he wanted. So this whole thing pertained to something that he wanted. I don't know if it was his success, his character, whatever. And if you do this, then you'll get this. And someone else suggested this to him. Someone from the outside suggested this to him. And he was contemplating, but he didn't really, someone gave him this idea or this thought, and he went with it. And he was being resourceful and kind of devious about it. Let's see, did Lee Daniels have anything to do with it? Not so much Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels might have told him that he was gonna lose his job, or he was losing his thing, and told Jussie to be more assertive or do something about it if he wanted to keep his part. I don't think he necessarily told him to do this, but I think Lee Daniels said, you have to assert yourself more. You have to show us more. You have to do something more. Because he was really worried about losing his job, whether it was diminished or losing his job, his income. So I don't think Lee told him, you have to do this. I think Lee was very assertive to him. I think Lee, told him, I think he knew he was either going to lower. So even though that they're saying they're cutting him out of the parts, I think he was getting cut out anyhow. I think that was true, that he was losing his job. That's what he was worried about. And Lee told him he had to assert himself in some way. He had to do something, to kind of get himself back out there. What does Lee think about him now? Lee is very disappointed. He's very disappointed. Lee is very disappointed. It's kind of stressed him out, because it could be that whatever he asserted and told, Jussie to do, like to assert yourself or whatever advice he gave, he's maybe kind of worried that that's going to come back and bite him in the butt. But he's really stressed out, and he's very disappointed. And I see him moving away from Jussie. I see that, they're moving away from Jussie. Let's see. Jussie. Well, his name is so funny, Jussie. I want to see Jesse, but it's Jussie. What is in store for him? To Booker or tell Jim to do with something to do with the lynching bell? Oh, you're talking about Booker or Kamala Harris. Let me just see. What is in store for Jussie in his empire, his acting? They're in talks. They're disappointed. Funny enough, the woman, I gotta see who Taraji's cards are. But to me, this is Taraji. Taraji is pretty powerful over there. She's talking. They're talking about it. They're trying to, because I think she's very nurturing. I think she likes to work with him. I think she likes to work, but they're very sad about where this happened and this disappointment and them not working together. He's still working on the details. Isolated, but still working on the details. Is he going to lose his job? His intuition? I think this is ruining him. I think he's not going to lose it right away. Like, are they in the season? I don't watch Empire. I watched the first season, and it's just not a show that I'm into. I watched the first season years ago, and I haven't really watched it. It's not something that I, watch, or even his other show. But it looks like he's kind of, isolated right now. But he's still working on things. I think the details are in the details of the paperwork or whatever. Um, I think they're being very professional. I think that they're looking at, but this is going to ruin him. I don't see this is ruining him. Um, is he going to see jail time? I don't. Let's see. Is he going to see? Is Jesse going to see jail time? I still see him in Empire. I don't think they fired him right away or whatever. They said they turned him in. Let's see. Is he going? Is he going to serve jail time? I don't think so. Hold on. It's telling me homecoming, but maybe like something at home. Is he gonna? How is this case gonna go for him? How is the case gonna go? This case in regards. How is this case gonna go? It's a burden. He's gonna be victorious. Recognition at the end. Him walking away. This was all about competition. There was a lot of competition. I do see he's powerless. I do see. I don't know. Does he have a male lawyer? A male lawyer. I think he might. For some reason, I'm seeing a lot of drinking. I do see that there's some self-imprisonment. But I'm not necessarily seeing that he may be he's worried about prison. That's on his mind. The star, they're indecisive. This is going to ruin him. His star power. But he is going to, his public opinion, I think he was trying to get some public opinion reaction, and people are feeling very conflicted in regards to him. It's not really telling me too much. I think he's going to go on. Let's see what kind of, hey everybody. He's worried about jail, but I'm not necessarily seeing jail for him. He's worried about jail. I think his lawyer is telling him that it's going to be okay, but I also think that something about some substance abuse, maybe drinking, but no devil card is coming up. So I'm not really seeing, that may be an issue for him because the devil card didn't come up, but I'm seeing that they may have used that as an excuse, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's. Oh, sugar. I think he's worried about jail, but not necessarily see that he is going to go to jail. I think he's in a lot of competition with his sister. I looked at his Instagram a little bit. I think it was yesterday. And it looks like he's like this loving, uncle and this and that. But there's a lot of competition. Is there anything else we should look up with him? I said from the beginning, Tanya, you remember the first day it happened, people were like, did you do Jussie? I said, what for? He's lying. I thought he was lying from the beginning. I don't think Lee Daniels told him to go out and do it, but I think maybe Lee Daniels told him that he had to do something or something, not necessarily you go out there and lie to the media and say that this and this, but I think that I think the rumor is true that he was losing either his job or his appearances or something was happening within the job and that was worrying him. And Lee said, well, if you're worried about that, you need to get yourself out there or you need to do something, to get you some publicity or something like that. And This is what he thought of. And I think it was, and it showed it was three people. So, him and the two guys. Did this have anything to do with the Camilla Harris? Let me just see. I think it was, I think that this hurt Camilla Harris. I think that, well, I wasn't voting for her anyway. Let's see. Camilla Harris, did she have anything to do with this? Or first, I want to see, did she have anything to do with this? That's the first one. Second one is his decision to do this have anything to do with Camilla? Um, she had something to do with it. This is the Nine of Coins. So she had something to do with it. And also, this was the spark. This is the match that lit in regards to the anti-lynching bill. She's seen. Did she have anything to do with it? She's seen that this was an opportunity to increase her money, her stand-in, this and that. So did she have something to do with it? She's seen it was something to increase her money, her votes, her everything. So yeah, she was happy about what happened. But also this was the match to start those bills. So his thing was the match to kind of get it successful. Okay, did that make sense? Did she tell him to do it? No. Did she use this opportunity for something? Yeah, and he used it as inspiration. This whole thing was part of his inspiration. The whole lynching bill and all this stuff was an inspiration. Two. Do you think he will ruin his sister? He's very jealous of his sister. There's a lot of competition between him and his sister. Which I wouldn't have thought so. Let me see, how is Jussie's career now? He has a lot of contracts. He has contracts. He's in partnership and contracts with someone. What is his career? It depends on if he does some jail time. He's powerless. This is a lawyer or someone smart, intellectual. I don't know who this is yet. I don't know if this is his lawyer or if this is Lee Daniels. But I see that this is partnerships, contracts, also, it could be a love relationship. It could be a relationship, with a man of power that's someone who's an intellectual power. Could be a lawyer, but there's also some powerlessness. His relationship with Lee Daniels. He's heartbroken. There is something going on. They used to have a better relationship. Him and Lee Daniels. There's some heartbreak in regards to their relationship. They had a better relationship back when he was a little bit younger. So he's remembering they had a better relationship when he was younger. That's very interesting. Him and Lee Daniels. Let's just see it. Let me see if this is going to hurt his sister's career. And then I'm going to see about him and Lee Daniels. I wish I did Lee Daniels' birth cards before, but I don't think I have them anywhere. Shoot. Let's see. Is this going to hurt his sister's career? Whoever's managing her, is worried about that. They're worried about that. Whoever's managing her, kind of like a father figure. I don't know if a father is involved, but this man is older and he's like a father figure. He's worried about this whole thing. And it looks like she is still trying to support her brother. She's going to try to, fan off some accusations. Because, there's love, there's a lot of love and choices and I don't think she realizes that he's in so much competition with her. Okay, I'm going to do Lee Daniels. I don't think so. I don't think she knows that. Let me just look at Lee Daniels real quick and his relationship and Jesse's relationship. Where are they now? There's a big change. I think a lot of change. Probably within the last 8 days or so, there's a big swift change in their relationship. Let's see with Jesse. Um, Jesse is feeling a lot of scrutiny. He's feeling like right now that there's a lot of scrutiny, that a lot of older people are telling him things or putting him under scrutiny. Um, Lee Daniels is very emotional about this. Lee Daniels is very emotional. What does Jesse want from Lee? Everything is crumbling. What does Jesse want from Lee is to crumble. He wants everything to blow up. Why does he want everything to blow up? What does that mean? Um, he's he wants from Lee for chaos and a challenge of him. He. Funny enough, what I think is that he wants Lee to stand up for him and defend him against everything. Who cares if everything is going crazy and chaos and I caused all this confusion? You should defend me by any means. What does Lee want from him? He wants him to resurrect in public opinion. This card showed up before. He wants him to kind of, resurrect himself within the public opinion. Um, I just still see him very resourceful, very deceptive. What's his name? Jussie. He just looks at like he's the boss. His working relationship. Um, he's looking to see. This is all business. I'm seeing on Lee Daniels' part. He's trying to figure out how he can still, you know, uh, be his boss and have him as an employee and how they're going to work together in the future because he's trying to understand how can I fit you into our enterprise in the future. We're on like two different pages right now and this is a very big burden you caught and right now I just want to escape and it's a hard time balancing things. um um I'm still thinking Tahaji is the one that's the real powerful one behind that show. And it's all about like money and fulfillment. How are you going to get yourself out of this? I don't necessarily see him in jail. Let's see. What are you guys saying? It's not really telling much. I'm not seeing him as the substance abuse. I see maybe alcohol, but I don't really see like all this substance abuse. Let me just see if it's in here. Sometimes I'll drop my cards. I don't really see that it's in here. Oh yeah, it is in there. I don't really see that that's really okay, will he pay a fine? That's what they're trying to go. Will he get jail time? Um there is a couple of people that want him to go to jail. Um there's a couple of people that want him to go to jail. And they want the fine to really, like, if it's a fine, they want it really high. There's a couple of people to go to jail. There's a couple of people that are, like, what's involved in this case that want him to go to jail. I'm not necessarily sure if he's going to go to jail. He's worried about it. Um, let's see. Why did he lie? Why did you lie? Why did you set this all up, Jesse? His fall from grace ruined. The details. I think that he was already like he felt like he had nothing to lose. Like he was already on a downward spiral. Like why did he do this? It's saying that his fall from grace. I think he was already losing. He was already, you know, losing out. And I think that this was like a last, you know, ditch effort. He had to do something. He had to do something. Something was going on with his contract, the details in his contract. I think that would be interesting. What was going on in the details of his contract? I think he already felt that he was falling from grace and that he was getting ruined, and that, you know, had to do with the details in his contract, and he felt like he had to do. He didn't really think. He just had to do something. You guys know I will not do anything about R. Kelly. That man needs to be under the bus. But what I have to say is that lawyer, Avenanti, or whatever his name is, I don't trust him. You know, he's the whole lawyer that was working for the porn star in regards to Trump, and he's been devious this whole time. So if he's behind all this information coming out for R. Kelly, I have to give it the side eye. Do I want R. Kelly to be under the jail? Yes, he should be underneath the jail. Do I think that you should put your hopes and opinions on this Michael Avenatti or whatever the hell his name is? I don't think so. He's shiesty from the beginning. Um, so that's my thoughts of that. Is Jussie going to be fine? Is Jussie going to be fine? I don't really see too much going on. Like, is Jussie going to be fine? He's very resourceful. There's two women behind him. The end. He might even leave for a little while on a new journey. The Emperor going forth. There is a possibility of him being self-imprisoned some way, whether it's home jail, because this is like his first offense. I don't know if this is like something he's done, but I see people want him to go to jail. But I think he still wants to work with Lee in the future. I can't really tell. The cards aren't really telling much in regards to this whole situation. They're really not. Usually they tell something. So what are you guys been up to? How was your there are some things that are saying I think his role is diminished. But didn't it sound like, sometimes I always feel like actors, sometimes get involved in their character so much that they become. Is this something that his character would have done on TV? Do you guys watch? I don't watch the show. Is this something that his character would have done on TV? Because sometimes I think they forget who they are and they get so involved in their character that they completely forget who they are. They completely forget who they are and they get absorbed. Who was the guy who was saying that they had a hard time? Oh, the guy from what the heck was that? Wakanda movie. He said that he had a hard time, coming back. When he came back from doing that movie, he had a hard time realizing who he was from the different movie. He had some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder or something. Black Panther, Michael Jordan, yes. So is this something that Melissa, of course I'll pray for you. Put in the reading room and to remind me to light a candle for you. I have somebody else I have to light a candle for. Let's see. I want to see his relationship. What's his sister's name? I don't know. His relationship with his sister. It's a mixture. A mixture of things. Let's see for her. She has a very successful career. Is she a mother now? I see her motherhood. I see that she's worried about her family. Her career's doing good. She's a mother. Him, I think it has to do with, for him, his mother. Let's see. What does she want from Jussie? She wants, like, she loves Jussie. She thinks he's a little immature at times, but she does love Jussie. Wow. What does he want from his sister? This is like physical things, money, support, admiration, jobs, stuff like that. She feels that his sister should be giving her more. Um, their relationship isn't that great. Their relationship isn't that great. There's a lot of arguing between them two. Their relationship, whether they're showing it a lot, it has to do with money and jobs and losing jobs and money. Um, a lot of arguing. Their family. Um, has she? I think he felt that she could have done more for him. Like, she could have done more for him. I don't know what that means. She could have done more for him. Their relationship isn't that, and it has a lot to do with the mother. The mother and the sister. On his side, it's more about the loss, money, financial things, and him acting out and going forth without too much thought, and he feeling that she should have gave him more. Um, yeah, so I don't think that their relationship is all that hot. A lot of competition going on. I don't know. I feel like he's very let's see. I'm about to get off this in a little while. Let me just see his personality. Let me just see his personality. Who is this man? Um, I think he's more emotional. Remember, I said he's the high priestess, and he's more emotional. He is. He works off of emotions. Like, if something tells, he works off of emotion. He plans his life on his emotions. So if he's upset or whatever, that's what he works with. Underneath that is he's feeling. Underneath that is justice, but justice is also talking about karma. What he feels like he deserves. He feels like he maybe should have more. Um, yeah, he feels like he should be more successful. He feels like, his karma, he should be more successful. He should be a boss within a boss, so he's feeling like he should be doing boss things. Um, a lot of indecisiveness. Um, like I said, he has a lot to do with his mother. His childhood, his disillusionment. He's feeling his life is stuck. He's trying to do anything for the money and recognition. I don't think he is this. I don't see him as really a drug problem. I don't see any of. Some people said he did it to increase his paycheck. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I think Lee Daniels, because he was losing, I really believe he was maybe losing his spot or his screen time, or I don't know if this, I don't watch Empire, so I don't know what's going on this season, or if they're stopping it, or if they're still going, but there was something. Um, he felt he had to do something. He felt the reason why he did this, he felt like he had to take things into his own hand and do something. This was a plan that he had to go into action. Remember how I said that Lee Daniels told him that he had to go out there and be more assertive and more this and that. This is what he took it. He felt things were churning for him in his career in the last year. It had to do with the last year of his career. There was a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of not really anything sticking. Like he was trying different things and nothing was really sticking. Um, he was celebrating. I do see him drinking. I do see him drinking a lot. I do see him drinking. Um, he was trying to do something to get Lee Daniels' attention. So I don't know. This reading really didn't even tell too much. Any hoes from Atlanta? What does that mean? And I heard a media personality says, I didn't really see, it could be with the disillusionment, but I'm seeing, I'm not really seeing drugs. I'm seeing maybe a lot of selfishness, like very selfish. I saw Jesse make a lot of fun behind. Oh, um, I don't know how he is on it. This was to get him more visible. I mean, he's been trying other things, and this was just part. And there's a lot of competition within, especially with the younger sister. If she must be more successful than him, um, there's a lot of competition between them too. Is this ruining his career? It might. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. His star power is going to end. Heartbreaking. His star power is 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 in the end. Um, he's gonna have a timeout. So he might say that he gets sick or something's wrong. He might go in for drinking. He might or drinking or substance, but it's mostly drinking. Um, he might go away for a while for drinking. I'm seeing that may be a problem for him. This is the seven. This is like confusion, disillusionment, self imprisonment, the end. So he may say that he has some illness having to do with his thoughts and drinking or something like that. Yeah. I think that's Lee Daniels also telling him to go get some treatment or something, and that's part of like the plan for him. Yeah, so he's gonna say he needs a timeout. He's drinking or something like that. He needs to go get some help for about 4 weeks, 4 months, or um, until April or so. That's about it. There's not much going on. It didn't really tell me anything. It's just telling me that he's kind of like, it's all about him trying to get the bag, get the money, get the prestige. Yeah, trying to hold what he had. It's all about him trying to get the money and hold on to what he has. So I don't really see the devil card didn't come up in any of this. So yeah, he may drink or whatever, but that may be an excuse that they use, but that's not necessarily what he has. You know, they may use that as an excuse. He's gonna go get help or whatever, but I'm not really seeing that as a problem for him, because none of the devil cards came up in any of these readings. So the devil is the thing about vices and this and that. I did see it maybe drinking, celebrating a lot, stuff like that. He This was all about money, prestige, getting him what he wanted, trying to hold on what he could get. That's about it. I think he's in a lot of competition. I think he's worried about going to jail. I don't know if he's necessarily going to jail. I know he's worried about it. But he might say he has mental and substance abuse problems or something like that. I think he's very jealous of his sister. So, I don't know. Does she play in anything now? I'm not sure. I don't. Does she play anything now? Why is he so jealous? Is she a big actress or something? I don't really pay. I don't watch the show or anything. You know. So that's about it. I just wanted to put this out there and talk to you guys later. I got to go to the store and stuff. So tell me what you guys think. And, I just don't see it as, how they're saying all this stuff. I think it was just something to get him in the limelight. I think it did have he seen the whole lynching law or whatever, and that put in his head too, and to run with it. And I think it was just selfish for him to, increase it. I think he was worried about his character on the show or him losing his job, and this was a way for him to stay in. But I think he's going to diminish his spotlight and stuff. I think he may, funny enough, is I think he may, play in scenes overseas. He may like playing some actors or something overseas. I think he's worried about jail time. There's a possibility. There's a couple of people on the prosecutor side that want him to go to jail, but I'm seeing that they may work out something in regards to substance abuse or like a timeout, for substance abuse, that he needs help or something like that. So that's it. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you later. I got to go to the store and get me some groceries. Talk to you guys later. I got to do this week too, I guess Trump's monthly. So I just was on here long enough to sit here and talk to you. I think it had to do with, like, I think he liked the limelight with Camilla Harris and Cory Booker, and that idea came in his head. I think Lee Daniels told him he had to, like, how you have to go out there and do something to kind of get visibility to bring your star back. I think Lee Daniels kind of told him that, but he went and took this thing the whole, a new route. I think he just went with it and ran. I think Lee Daniels is going to kind of separate himself. I think Taraji has a lot of clout on that show, and I don't necessarily see her wanting him gone right now. I don't know, how she feels, but right now I don't think that she's like, he's got to go. I think she loves him or, really likes working with him. So we'll see how that goes. But I think Taraji has more um, power behind that show than the rest of them do. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.